All right, good morning, OPM 2000. There was a there was an issue with my recording that I sent out yesterday. A technical problem. Apparently, there was no audio. I apologize for that, so I'm re-recording it this morning. Anyway, let's go and get this week going. A few things to take care of first. First of all, make sure that you do your discussions, and on your discussions that you reply to at least two classmates each week. Otherwise, you'll lose 5 points every week if you don't do that. So that's kind of important. That's a whole letter grade right there over the course of a semester. The second thing is on your discussions, I do require that you include APA 7 citations and references, although you don't have to format the style of the actual post according to APA 7. You do have to use APA 7 for the citations and the references. Just put the references at the end and the citations in the actual body of the post, just like you would normally. Citations in APA 7 go at the end or within the sentence that you use to give the information in. Okay, so you don't do it just one time at the end of the paragraph. You can use AI to generate ideas, to look and do research for sources. If you use AI, you have to be sure to cite it properly, and you can use your student handbook and the Clear University AI policy to identify how to do that. The Clear University Library has a great reference page on the writing and APA 7 section and wonderful resources there, so be sure to use it. Make sure you watch the video I posted this week about academic writing in APA 7 because that will help you do good in my class. All right, now this particular week in our course, we are learning the history of management. Not management, sorry, it's early in the morning. We're learning the history of operations. So what you need to do is you're kind of getting a view of where we were as a society, as a species, way back in ancient times, to all the way to the 1800s, and that was a cottage type industry. People produced things and they sold them locally. So both the production or manufacturing and the distribution and sale of items were done locally. You weren't shipping them all over the world or all over your own country. They were done locally. We move into recent times. Now, today, we are shipping things globally. We're a globalized economy. Well, this week, you're going to learn how that process happened. Specifically, I do want to point out a little bit more about Frederick Winslow Taylor because your material doesn't go into as much depth about him as I do in my on campus lectures. Frederick Winslow Taylor did do a lot for organizations when it came to efficiency. He quantified efficiency using mathematical equations. However, he wasn't a very nice person, from what I understand. He was still using and promoting child labor, basically the abuse of women in the sense of underpaying them. So he wasn't up to speed with where we see the need to protect children and the need to pay people fairly. He wasn't quite there. So I'm not the biggest fan of Frederick Winslow Taylor. However, I am a fan of some of the things he did regarding efficiency to try to find ways of doing things better. He didn't really care about his employees. He cared about the end result. Today, years later, here we are, and we do hopefully care more about the employee. We're not sending people into extremely dangerous areas of our operations and our plants and our manufacturing plants and etc. without the proper protective equipment, hopefully. Some companies are worse than others, but hopefully we've learned a little bit. This week, I want you to poke around a little bit too. Look at what Henry Ford was trying to do with his assembly lines. Do a little research online about that because it's very fascinating. Henry Ford actually did want to try to produce a high quality product that was affordable for everybody. The Dodge brothers, they wanted what's called company supremacy. And that was that the company should get the profit. So you make a high quality product, but you do it in a way that saves the company money and you only sell it to people that can afford to pay a really high price. That caused the lawsuit to happen, right? And it's a famous lawsuit, Ford v. Dodge. So it led to Ford and the Dodge brothers splitting ways, and the Dodge brothers going out and starting the company Dodge. So take a look at that. That's kind of an interesting thing when it comes to the fair treatment of others. We need to keep in mind that in production, in manufacturing, we need to think ethically. So this week, you're getting the foundations of what you're going to be doing for the next 16 weeks. You're getting the history behind it. So take this wonderful opportunity and explore a little bit. I hope that you have an excellent week, and I do apologize about the technical difficulties. You have a great first week. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions or comments or any issues arise.